you talked about this deadline, and you talked about the Guardians, how disappointing they were. There were a lot of teams that got way better. Drew, who is your favorite? We'll take the Padres out of it because I think that's fairly obvious. Who was your favorite team over the deadline in terms of improving their chances for making the postseason and maybe doing damage in it?
Yeah, my mind just goes to Padres.
Yeah, of course.
Man, I like what the Twins did. Like
that's my
Tyler Mahle, Michael Fulmer, Jorge Lopez.
Yep.
It's exactly what they needed. They needed like a reliable number three starter, which I think Tyler Mahle can be away from Great American Ballpark. And they needed good setup and back end bullpen options, and that's what they got in Fulmer and Lopez. I would put them right up there. I don't like what the Brewers did. I don't like really that. I don't like what. I don't want to say that. I think the Braves could have done more. I think the Mets could have done more.
Mets could have done a lot more. I was really surprised that the Mets, and I can't help but wonder, sorry to cut you off, but how much this had to do with the fact that from everybody I talked to, it seemed like they were pretty sure that Wilson Contreras was going to be a New York Met. And when that didn't happen, I wonder if there were just like no other real backup plans. You know what I mean? And it kind of reminds me of when Jerry DiPoto basically based an entire offseason and organizational plan on going to get Shohei Ohtani, like literally trading prospects, not elite prospects, but prospects
to get bonus pool money. Yeah.
To get bonus pool money based on the fact that they thought they were going to go and get Shohei Ohtani. And that offseason was, I mean, it was right in the round of the rebuild time anyway, but it really changed what the organization did. But I really think the Mets thought they were going to get Wilson Contreras, and when they didn't, there was really no other backup plan. The Darren Ruff trade is one of the most interesting trades, I think, just because of they gave up 3 prospects and a guy who could be Darren Ruff in JD Davis to get it kind of reminded me of the mystery box Family Guy thing where a JD Davis could be a Darren Ruff type of situation. But I do think Darren Ruff makes them better. But I think the Twins had the best trade deadline by far for 2 reasons. Non-Padres editions, because they just don't count. I love what they did in terms of getting really good players and not giving up elite prospects whatsoever to get them. Like, they didn't touch the top of their farm system. Spencer Steer is a good prospect, but I love Tyler Mahle. I think he's going to be so much improved, going just into a better pitching park, and also the fact that he's going for a team that is competitive, I think is going to be really big for him. I kind of thought that Mahle might be, we talked about this a little bit, as a guy, because they did not trade him at the highest point. If they would have traded him in the offseason, I think they would have gotten considerably more.
Yes.
It also reminds me a little bit of the Whit Merrifield trade, which, by the way, thank you, NBC Sports, for turning me into a meme for my reaction to him being traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. Really appreciate that. Actually, I do. I really like attention.
How did you put that? Meme?
Meme. It doesn't matter. It's how should I be pronounced it?
Meme?
Okay. Cool. Drew Silva, smarter than everybody, telling me how to pronounce words. Really appreciate it. I thought that Whit Merrifield trade, though, for Toronto was an excellent one because they gave up a couple of top 20 or so prospects. And Whit Merrifield, for the most part, after a just horrific start, has been really, really good. What do you think of Whit Merrifield rest of the season?
It's nice that he finally got vaccinated. I wonder if he was actually already vaccinated, because that came together really fast.
It went real quick.
And isn't there some kind of like week buffer period? I guess if you go with Johnson and Johnson or something, there's not. I don't know.
Yeah. I have no idea how that works. I just know that I'm glad he got vaccinated, and also glad that he because what a situation that would be if you're trading for a player that can't play your home games, a la Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. They must have had some kind of heads up that he had already had it, or that he was going to. I mean, it's obvious that the Royals traded Merrifield, 2 years too late.
Yes.
And I think he's always been a bit of an overrated player. Like, he's super interesting in fantasy because he plays every game and he can lead the league in steals and, sometimes can hit for a high average.
Right.
and like maybe maybe get like 10, 12 home runs. That's kind of his profile, which is really valuable in fantasy. And you can
Yeah,
play him at second base or in the outfield.
right.
I think we've seen the best that,
The very best of him.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But for a team like the Blue Jays that needs some versatility, a guy that can play infield and outfield, and that gives you speed off the bench, like even if he's just like a versatile super utility man, that's a really nice thing to have on a contending team in the playoffs. And he's a guy who has a lot of experience. Like, it's the veteran presence thing that helps a team like the Blue Jays. I know it's not
Sure.
a tangible thing, but to bring that kind of personality into the clubhouse is probably a good thing. And it came at a nice time for the Blue Jays where they finally got going a bit. And we're seeing better results from their young sluggers.
Right.
And adding him to the mix really helps. I mean, I don't know. Is he going to play as much with the Royals as he did with Kansas City? That would be my concern in fantasy a little bit, but
Right.
maybe he will. And if he's hitting in a good lineup spot, then yeah, I mean, it's either a wash or a nice little boost for his fantasy stock.
And worth pointing out that George Springer on the injured list right now,
Yep.
so going to be getting playing time for sure, I guess, over the next 2 weeks or so. But yeah, I think that's a great call.
Yeah, starting center
Mike,
fielder, which is crazy.
yeah,